Oh my goodness, you guys. Before we get into today's video, I did want to let you guys know that this video is for educational purposes only. Please remember to be kind to everybody everywhere in your everyday life, in your home, in the grocery store, and especially in the comment section down below. Please do not show hate to anybody, anywhere. Good morning, my lovelies, my beauties, my friends. My name is Christina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will subscribe, stick around, take a chance in hearing some things that I have to say. And if you are a returning subscriber, y'all already know, y'all are my babies. So good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing today? I hope you all are having an amazing day. Wow, the amount of calls that has since been released since we spoke last time, I mean, oh my goodness, and we're about to go over them today in this video. And just a little spoiler alert, my opinion has actually changed on something since my last video, but I'm going to explain that to y'all in this video, so make sure you guys stay all the way to the end. Before we get into these phone calls, these 911 phone calls, and all the mess between Lindsay Shiver and her ex-husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, Robert, and his whole side of the family, because it looked like they are all in on it. I do want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, hi, my name is Christina. I hate to even tell y'all this, to be honest. I got a second channel. Listen, okay? I'm going to upload on it. If y'all knew the things I got going on behind the scenes, but I do have a second channel with like more laid back, chill videos, family type of stuff, makeup, hair, that type of thing. It's linked down in the description box. I also have a Patreon. My Patreon is for 18 and up. Over there, we do live chats where we talk about all types of different things. I also have a $2 tier over there where like all the true crime stuff that can't go onto YouTube due to their terms and policies, that goes over on my Patreon. I have a Snapchat, an Instagram, and a Facebook, and those are always linked down in the description box if you'd like to come and check me out. So, you guys, I am not going to give a rundown on everything that's already happened. If you're not all caught up, I do have a playlist and you guys can get caught up on what's going on with the Shiver situation. Otherwise, we're going to just jump right into it in this video. Excuse me. So 3 911 phone calls were released by the Daily Mail. Now we're going to go over these. Now these are all made by Robert, okay, Lindsay's husband. Let me just say a couple things real quick first. I am just putting out there very, very, very public information that is already out there. Then I'm going to be giving you guys my opinion on these things. So the first 911 phone call that was released by the Daily Mail was made on February 20th of 2023. This is 2 months before Lindsay or Robert actually officially filed for a divorce. And y'all remember in that first video that I did where I talked about how when people file for a divorce, there's typically a bunch of stuff that had been happening for a long time before they actually go for a divorce. I mean, who in a marriage, the first time somebody like says something out of pocket or whatever, they immediately go and file for divorce? No, usually it takes time. Nevertheless, he calls 911. I want y'all to listen to this call, and I want y'all to also take note of who he is with, but just listen.
Situation that I wanted to kind of get guidance on, or just give you guys a heads up. Are you the right person to speak to on that?
It depends, sir, what the situation is.
All right. So, my wife just got back from out of town, and I believe that we are heading down the road of getting divorced. She just cut my cell phone off from Verizon. She called Verizon and had my cell phone disconnected, so I'm calling on my mother's phone at the Verizon store, because the only way I can get it back active is if she releases it. Mm-hmm. So I have to go over to our home, and with the way that she is behaving, I feel like she might try and call the police to try to set me up as soon as I get there. And I wanted to try to get out in front of it because I'm not a risk of, doing anything crazy. I'm just trying to go to my house, and if I need to pack my stuff and leave, I can pack my stuff and leave. But my kids are there, and, I don't want it to be presented as she goes and screams bloody murder, calls the police over nothing to try to have me carried off in a police car.
Is there, the police will usually, like if you want an escort to pack like personal belongings or something, they'll stand by for like 15 minutes. But if you're like trying to get all of your stuff or something, it's going to take longer than that. You usually have to go through the sheriff's department and make arrangements to go over there and have a deputy go with you.
Well, nothing has been sent or said where I can't go over to my home. I'm just really concerned about her trying to set me up. You know, when I get on property, I don't want her to try to play this game of she's a victim when I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
So if she calls the police and says, my husband is irate, can you please come over here, and the law comes over there, what is the risk of me getting carted off in a police car in front of my kids?
I can't answer that question for you, sir. Most of the time, they're just going to ask one of you to leave the property to de-escalate things. I can have somebody give you a call. What is your address?
Now, I got a couple questions listening to this. The first thing is, okay, Lindsay cut his cell phone off, called Verizon, cut his cell phone off. Now, I know a lot of people, and I see it in the comment section and on the internet, are really hung up on this fact that she keeps going out of town. But you guys got to remember, they had a private jet for a reason. They owned a home down there. Robert and his family went down there all the time too. But like, this was something that they did all the time. There's lots of family videos and pictures of them down there. So I don't want to get hung up on that until we know the actual details of that. However, when you listen to this call, he's with his mom at the Verizon store. She turned off his cell phone. I don't know what happened between them with that. Did he do something to her? And her way to retaliate was, oh, well, at least I got the phone in my name. So she did that. Or was she just being spiteful? We don't know. But what I find interesting is it seems like Robert is making a documentation via calling 911, saying that he's going to go to his house and that he just, he don't know if she's going to, say that he's doing something crazy. And the dispatcher tells Robert that he can have a police officer go with him there for about 15 minutes to get some stuff.
Is there, the police will usually, like if you want an escort to pack like personal belongings or something, they'll stand by for like 15 minutes. But if you're like trying to get all of your stuff or something, it's going to take longer than that. You usually have to go through the sheriff's department and make arrangements to go over there and have a deputy go with you.
But then Robert continues to go on and on about it instead of just saying, okay, great. Can you have somebody meet me there so I can get my stuff? Which to me makes me feel like maybe it wasn't just about the stuff. Also, if he's got his mom with him, I don't understand maybe why he didn't just go to the house, have her record. She could have been recording the whole situation. But see, that's why it makes me wonder if Lindsay is as crazy as they're saying that she is. Because it just seems like from February all the way to July, okay, that they lived together this whole time. They didn't get anything on video with her being this, remember in the other video we did, this irate person who they're afraid is going to fire a firearm at them, who is on all these substances and they need to take a hair test and, oh, she's running off and doing this, Y'all don't have a single video? You don't, in a $2.5 million home, y'all don't have any cameras inside? Maybe they don't. But the mama, Robin, is so involved, y'all couldn't get anything? But I don't know. Let's listen to the next 911 phone call, and then y'all tell me what y'all think.
I do not have an emergency right now, but I was wanting to just kind of put you guys on notice of something that has been kind of odd. Mm-hmm. Are you the right person to talk to, or do I need to be transferred to a dispatch, or what?
This is dispatch.
Okay, so today at work, I had a letter delivered to me, and it was a USB thumb drive. And it didn't have a return to sender address or anything, and so I plugged the thumb drive in, and it had all these pictures of my wife on it from about 2 weeks ago when we were out of the country. The same thumb drive was delivered to my parents' house about a mile away in an unmarked envelope. And it looks like, glancing through, that it was almost like a private investigator, but we have spoken with everybody that we know, and they've all confirmed that they don't know what we're talking about.
Okay.
So I don't know if we have like a potential stalker or some lunatic that's in town that has been following my wife around. But we just wanted to let you guys know it might do, or we would like it if you guys could maybe, just make a couple of passes by our home tonight. We just kind of went through and checked the whole house ourselves.
Okay. Do you want to get a report as well?
I don't think we need a report just yet because we're trying to find out more information on who took the pictures, and we're talking to some people that have some security cameras to see if we can get a picture of the individual first.
Okay, were the pictures taken while you were out of the country, or were they taken while you were here?
They were taken while we were out of the country in the Bahamas, and for spring break a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they just showed up at my office today that was mailed to me, but then an envelope was also, an unmarked envelope was placed in my parents' mailbox with the same thumb drive.
Yes, sir. Okay, you want them to kind of ride around your residence a few times throughout the night? Yeah,
if that's okay. They can kind of patrol both sides, I think would be just some extra reassurance that, everything's okay. We've got our alarm on.
Okay, yes, sir. All right.
Everybody's good, but just wanted to see if you guys could help with that.
Yes, sir. We'll definitely have them do that.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, we all know that I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, but you mean to tell me 8 days after you filed for a divorce, mysteriously a device ended up at your job and your mama's house that was a flash drive that had photos of your wife? Mind you, he said that this was from 2 weeks ago when we were out of the country, meaning him and his wife, Lindsay. So this mysterious person followed them down to the Bahamas and was taking pictures of his wife and followed him back into the United States, allegedly, and mysteriously was taking pictures of his wife and then sent the thumb drive just conveniently to his mother's house as well as to his work. I don't know, y'all. That seems a little suspicious. It seems even more suspicious when you see all of the major news reporting saying that he hired a private investigator. And I mean, no big deal if he actually did hire a private investigator, but if he did, why call 911 and lie about it? That's very bizarre. Remember what I talked about in that first video where I was talking about the private investigator and all of that stuff? And maybe the cell phones were tracked? I don't know. I mean, what would you think if he had a tracker on her car? If he has a tracker on her car, does he have a tracker on her text messages? Now, before I play this, I want y'all to know that this 911 phone call was made from Robert to 911, and this was on April 30th. So this was after that whole incident that we went over in the last video that I did between Robert's mom, Robin, and Lindsay. And I want you to listen to what he says here.
Can I speak with somebody at the city police, please?
Yes, sir. What's the location?
But we're having a dispute. I've got our kids and trying to figure out how to handle the situation that I'm in.
Okay, so it's more of a custody dispute?
Well, my wife and I are going through a divorce, and I've been gone all weekend, and she just threatened myself and my mother to bring the kids back, and her mom is saying to take her to the ER or check her into some mental some institution because we think she's having kind of a midlife crisis mental breakdown, so it's super unstable, and she just followed my parents when they left the house trying to find the kids, and deputies were called, but since we live in the city, they said we need to call Thomasville City instead of the county.
Okay. Did your parents have the children with them?
No, the kids are with me. When she was following my parents and sister, they called the police because she was following them, and they stopped her, but they said there wasn't really anything that they could do. And then so now my parents are at a friend's house, and it looks like I've got a tracker on my wife's car. It looks like she's at Publix. And then we were coming back in from being with her family. Me and the boys were from this weekend, and she just went off the handle. And so I'm trying to buy some time and not take my kids into an unstable environment, number one, and she's going off the rails about seeing the kids. So I'm just trying to figure out how to approach this because I don't want the boys to see the mom get, carted off in a police car if she starts showing out, or kind of what the best course of action is to handle this.
I see. Okay. So are you wanting to do a report? Like, are you wanting to make a report about any kind of threats or anything from her?
I want kind of the best advice to give right now in terms of what to do.
Okay. So you just want to know what to do as far as basically handing off your children between you and her, with her having a...
Well, I don't want to hand them off. I mean, I have filed for divorce. It is not official yet. So it's not a custody deal right now.
Okay. Now that's what I'm trying to understand as far as when you say taking them to a situation.
We're in the middle of divorce. So what I'm saying is, I'm about to pull up to the house here in a little bit with the kids, and she is got her own mother saying that, she's threatened my mom and me, and she's not in a stable position. So I can take the kids to a friend's house and sit down with the deputy and try to talk to her amicably, but I don't know the best way to try to go down this road is, I guess.
Are you supposed to be meeting her at all to get the kids back?
We're still living in the same house, even though I've filed for divorce. We haven't had our first hearing on who gets the home and temporary custody of the kids. So we're in this kind of like limbo phase right now. So I'm just trying to figure out what to do. Just the safest thing for everybody right now. Could you have the deputy call me, maybe?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can give you a phone call, and then it'll look like it's coming from unrestricted numbers. Then.
Okay. That'll be perfect. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. Bye.
Now, y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard he's got a tracker on her car, and that she was at Publix, and that she needed to be in a mental hospital and, all of this stuff. But yet we just saw her in the last video and the way her demeanor was. Now, don't get me wrong. And a lot of y'all brought this up in my last video, and I agree with you. Look at the Lori Vallow situation. I mean, she was cool, calm, and collected the whole way through. And we know she was but also people were dropping dead around her. So I don't know what's going on with this Lindsay situation, but something ain't right here, you guys. I also want to bring this up, and I wanted to talk about this in the last video that I did, but I said, nah, man, because it really seems like I'm pushing for Lindsay. But at this point, I'm going to put this out there, okay? And if more stuff comes out where it shows that Lindsay is as crazy as they're making her out to be, I'm gonna make a video and show y'all that too, okay? Because I ain't on nobody's side here. In that 911 interaction between Lindsay and the officer, the whole situation with Robin, she told the officer that she had got back into town and she actually had called 911 that morning because she was looking for her kids.
On the way back this morning, they were in Wiggum 30 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
They were headed home, and then I get the message that he's dropping them with his parents, who have no rights.
Okay.
So as a witness for me, that's why I called y'all, to meet me at his parents' house.
You called?
I called first.
Okay.
This morning, and then I've been on the phone with the attorney and trying to dial them to ask them where the kids were and where they were meeting them, so that I could call y'all to let you know. Because I told you it was I called this morning.
Okay, who'd you speak to this morning?
And according to her, she had been looking for her kids all day, and then she finally spoke to Robert. They were supposed to be in town in 35 minutes, and then he told her he was taking the kids to the parents' house, and so therefore she saw them, started to follow them, thinking her kids were with them. Why do I bring this up? Because if you look in the divorce paperwork where Lindsay filed for the divorce, part of it was that Robert would hide the kids from her. Now, to me, it looks like what she filed for in the divorce may be true, okay? In that interaction that weekend, Lindsay allegedly had went to the Bahamas from Tuesday to, I guess, Sunday. She was gone to the Bahamas, off with her boyfriend, whatever. Robert had the kids. I'm assuming that they had some sort of deal worked out, because at this point, they had been on the verge of a divorce for a while, because we heard the 911 call all the way back in February. Robert was coming back from spending the weekend with Lindsay's family, okay? If he wanted his kids to see his parents and his family, Why didn't he take them for the weekend while she was gone? He went to go take his kids to his mama's house, allegedly, according to these 911 situations. He went to go take his kids to his mama's house when he knew Lindsay was coming back.
He just had my kids with my family all weekend, and I respected that. I didn't go up there with my family. On the way back this morning, they were in Wiggum 30 minutes ago. They were headed home, and then I get the message that he's dropping them with his parents.
To me, it sounds like he was messing with her. It sounds like they were constantly using the kids to mess with her. Lindsay showed the officer that she had called Robert. She was looking for her kids. He wasn't answering her phone calls anymore. He was messing with her, allegedly, in my opinion, off of this 911 interaction. The officer also asked Lindsay, how many times did you call Robin? And she said, I only called him once.
How many
times did you try to call
about
them?
subject fishing in the pond without permission.
That's because she saw the vehicle. She called them. Hey, do you have the kids? What I'm assuming, they didn't answer her call. Why didn't they just pick up the phone and say, hey, we don't have the kids? Now let's bring it to the last 911 phone call that was made that Plunder actually released this morning, as a matter of fact, that I'm filming this. And this is the 911 phone call that Robert's mother, made while they were waiting for the officers to get there when they were sitting in the BP gas station parking lot. Listen to this.
Yes. I need the police, please, to be sent to my house. Daughter-in-law who's going through a divorce, and she's following me right now, and I know she does have a pistol possibly in her car, and she is threatening that we will not get to see her kids because my son is on his way back from having been out of town with the kids.
Okay, is your daughter-in-law at that location right now?
She's on my tail following me right now.
What kind of vehicle
she's not,
is she in?
She's not well, and her mother told me to call y'all because they've talked to her, and they said she is really crazy. She's not well, and she's on I don't know what kind of drugs.
How old is she, ma'am?
She's 35.
35?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is your name, ma'am?
My name is Robin Shiver.
And what is she so upset about because your son took the kids and went out of town?
Well, they're going through a divorce.
Uh-huh.
And she went to the Bahamas and just got back in town Friday night.
Uh-huh.
And my son has had the 3 boys are with him, and they're coming back to town to see their mom because they still live in the same house. However, she's lost it thinking that we're keeping the kids away from her, and we're not.
Okay, let me interrupt this real quick. Did you hear what she just said? She just told the dispatcher that Lindsay was losing it because she thinks that they're keeping the kids away from her, but they're not. So this whole thing could have been solved if they would have just answered her phone call and told her where the kids were. But instead, it's this big spectacle. Why?
The 3 boys are with him, and they're coming back to town to see their mom because they still live in the same house. However, she's lost it thinking that we're keeping the kids away from her, and we're not. He was coming home.
Okay, do you know if she uses drugs or does she have any diagnosed medical problems?
She does. She's got some issues, but she's taken Adderall, and I don't know what else she's been taking these last 4 days. She was in the Bahamas from Tuesday to Friday, and we're afraid she could have gotten a hold of something down there to make her so erratic today. But she is mentally not well. We've seen that for the last several months. Alan, will you call Robert and tell him that she's still behind me, but don't talk out loud because he was taking the kids to the house, and I don't want the police to get there at the same time. And that's my husband. We're not, Alan, we're not. They're going to show up at the house, and they're going to get her.
So according to what Robin just said, Robert is getting ready to take the kids back home to the house where Lindsay and him live with the children, which according to Lindsay was the original plan in the first place until she got a message from Robert saying that he was going to drop the kids off at his mom's house. But now they're saying he's taking the kids home. So it's like all of this was for nothing. All of this drama was for nothing. And yet nobody will answer Lindsay's calls or her attorney's calls to just let them know the kids are on the way to the house. Nothing to worry about. Y'all, this is weird. It's very weird to me. That don't mean Lindsay ain't cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs behind the scenes too. She probably is. And if she wasn't, she probably definitely is after dealing with all this situation, because I know that I would be. It seems really weird. And again, if Lindsay is dangerous, if she is actually dangerous, then good. Do what they got to do to keep the kids and everybody safe. I'm all on board for that. From my little old non-important opinion, absolutely. But something's right now just not seeming too right. And I do hope that Robert and his whole side of the family, I hope they care more about them kids and their well-being than they do their money and their egos and the divorce and winning. Because the kids will grow up one day and they will form their own opinions. I hope everybody is doing the right thing for the kids here. All of these 911 phone calls looks like a lot of he said, she said drama. I don't know, you guys. What do y'all think? Let me know what y'all think down below. I'll be following this. If any more information comes out, if the videos that they're sitting on of Lindsay being unsafe and unhinged and this text message was a real plot and there was money exchanged and there was a time and date and and I'm gonna tell y'all and I'll say, well, you know what? She was plotting to kill him. But right now it's looking a little fishy. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Other than that, I love you guys. Thank y'all for being here. Let me know what you think down below and I'll see y'all in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.